As an only child, I've always valued the bond between not only my parents and I, but the bond between my extended family too. As I've grown up, I've realized that being an only child can sometimes be lonely, so I always kept my cousins close as if they were my siblings. My mom and dad have both big families, so I will break this up simply. My mom is from Venezuela. Her siblings live there and in California. My older cousins, Stella and Rafa, are the closest ones I have. They are the children of my mom's sister, Gabby. My mom has two twin sisters as well, Rosa and Marianne. Rosa lives in Temecula, California, and Marianne lives back in Venezuela. Marianne has a baby boy, but Rosa has a daughter my age, Rose, and a son 3 years older than me, Roosevelt. I used to be very close with Rosa's family. Rose was my age, and we shared similar interests. I was always closer to my Californian cousins as compared to my cousins on my dad's side. Audrey, my cousin in France, who is my age also, speaks only French, so me and her have always had trouble communicating. I think it's sad that there's a language barrier between us because she is so similar to me in the way that she's an only child as well. I was always extremely close to my aunts and uncles on both sides of my family, moms and dads. This changed about a decade ago when my mom, Rosa, and Marianne got into a feud that ended up separating our families for a very long time. When I was 7, me and my mother had just finished running an errand in Brickell and were driving back home when my mom got a text from Marianne. The text was in Spanish, so I couldn't really understand what it said at the time, but I remember my mom's jaw drop at the sight of the WhatsApp message she had received. She was disgusted, hurt, and betrayed. Marianne had meant to send a text talking bad about my mother to her twin sister Rosa, but accidentally sent it to my mom. From that day on, my mom refused to speak to her two sisters who hurt her so badly. This affected the way my mom saw her family, but it also unfortunately affected my relationships with my two aunts and cousins. I haven't spoken to Roosevelt and Rose in years, and I haven't seen my two aunts for that time either. The years went by. We stopped sending happy birthday messages and calling to see how that side of the family was. They didn't feel like my family anymore. Having Stella and Rafa for all the years I haven't had my two other cousins to keep close with was a big relief. Sooner or later, the heat started to settle down. 3 years ago, Rosa started trying to reach out again. Of course, my mom ignored her texts and calls, attempting for her to reunite. My mom saw countless WhatsApp messages from Rosa and Marianne. The messages went something like, "We're sorry for all the distance we have created. Come visit us. We love you." My aunts who had backstabbed my mom started reaching out more, and I saw slowly that after all these years, the love for my mom was still there for them. It took a while for my mom to come around to their failed attempts at reconnecting until 2 weeks ago. My mom decided to go to California to visit Rosa, Rose, and Roosevelt in order to make amends. Sure, this helped mend her to them again, but it also brought me back to my cousins who I've missed so much. I've just gotten my two siblings back and don't feel the void in my life anymore. At times, I'm grateful I'm an only child. It makes for a more drama-free, simple life, but it's also a relief to have my cousins knowing they're there for me whenever I need, as if they were my siblings.